post. Oh, wait. No, not there. Delete. Create highlight. There we go. Post show. What's today? The 8th. 12, 8, 18. There we go. Hey, welcome to the post show of HSRPM. We're just kind of hanging out, talking about all kinds of weird stuff from the chat. We went everything from we've talked to everything from Alan Watts to Ayn Rand to Dr. Ruth to petroleum jelly. We've discussed enzymes that eat plastics. We've talked about whether or not Donald Trump has dementia, a hole in his prefrontal cortex, or is just stupid. So we're continuing all of those conversations at once. Alan Watts voiceovers were included in the recent video game called Everything. Super cool. I used to listen to Alan Watts on KPFK, and on Sunday nights they would air his lectures and stuff, and I would just turn on the radio and listen to him. It was like living in the 40s. For those of you who don't know, Alan Watts is a Buddhist philosopher who basically taught Zen Buddhists to houseboats full of hippies back in the late 60s, early 70s. Big smoker, unfortunately, and you could tell when he would laugh. He had a really smoker hack. Yeah, they still play him on KPFK. You can download them. A lot of his lectures are online. Certainly look up on YouTube. You can look up Alan Watts. Let's see. Now I'm laughing. That was a good one. Thank you. Last night's show at Flappers was really awesome. It was a good time. I got a nice 20 minutes of new material out of the beginning. That was really cool. I love improvising gold. And then I'm in Atlantic City next week, 4 days. I think because it's a casino, it's only one show a night, which is, I mean, most of the time when I'm doing 2 shows a night, like, it's such heavy lifting because I'm so physical and I do so much stuff in my act, and these friggin' shoegazers annoy the hell out of me. They just kind of wander through a set, and you're like, yeah, whatever. What do I want to talk about next? Like, I'm up there doing a show, so doing 2 of them in a night can be a tooth pull sometimes, especially if I've had press in the morning or whatever. So, but when I get to do casino shows where I'm only doing 1 show a night, or a theater show, it's way easier and so much more fun because I can really throw it against the wall. Hal, did you improv the bit about popcorn last night? Yes, I did. That was all just from the tree on stage. I was very excited that, that bit came out just kind of naturally. Did you hear about the song "Baby It's Cold Outside" is now being connected to Bill Cosby, and stations are not playing it because it sounds like date rape? Yeah, and I disagree with it, and I think it's terrible. We talked about that on the radio show I was on yesterday. Thanks, Ginger. Shoegazers. That was a British genre of music. Yeah, it was also what you call most grunge bands and most, like, millennial stand-up comedians. When will I be doing stand-up in Chicago? I'm not sure, but it won't be during the winter, so it'll probably be spring at the earliest. And I'm going to China again in February, so it'll be after that. How you just passed right by Georgia. You got to do a show here to help us get over Kemp. I'll be down in Atlanta sometime soon. And again, it'll probably be spring, though. Come to Magic Bag in Royal Oak again. I like that place. Or the Majestic in Detroit. Yeah. We don't give any credit to the woman in that song. Yeah. Like, there's a huge difference between seduction and date rape. And if you can't tell the difference, I don't want to be on a date with you. And like, why would anybody want to date you? If you're not sexually mature, don't engage in sexual behaviors, period. I always looked at the song as playful, but I didn't think the Blurred Line song was rapey either. I think it's very dangerous to infantilize women at all points. Yeah, I think that's a big problem. That somehow instantly make the woman a victim as if she couldn't leave. He's trying to talk her into it, and I've told you about some of these, things before, but I had this, this girl I went out with, and we were making out, and we started kind of getting hot and heavy, as it were, into the heavy petting, as it were, and she went, whoa, no, I'm not I'm not ready for that. And I went, okay, cool, no problem. You got it. Second she said it, I was done. I'm like, yeah, cool, all right. She went, well, you give up easy. Like, what? What do you... Well, so I was supposed to take you're saying no as another version of yes? Are you crazy? Like, but that was, and she's not the only woman in the world who does that, or nor thinks that, you know. There's some fun in the tug and play sometimes if it's not genuinely overwhelming and you're both like, dude, you really want to do it? I kind of do, but I don't want to. Okay, but let's do it. As long as you're in that zone, it should be fine. But when she said that, I was genuinely like, I'm being the good guy here. And then all of a sudden, like, what are you, a pansy? That was basically your response. Yes, my no means no. Yes, no. Yeah, that's exactly it, Once someone says that, it breaks the mood. Yeah, well, I didn't feel like going further, When you consider the social times the song was written, good girls had to be talked into it. Only sluts were enthusiastic and straightforward. That's exactly right. You had to coax a girl because she had to go, well, I was seduced. And she really wanted to be there. There's the old joke. There's this great Dave Allen joke. It's one of my favorites of all time. And this woman is laying next to this man, and she's crying. She's wailing, oh, my God. What am I going to tell my family? What am I going to tell my friends? I can't believe you took advantage of me twice. And he goes, we only did it once. She goes, you're going to do it again, aren't you? That was indicative of a time. Yeah, Brad, she wasn't a girlfriend, and that was the end of that. Blaming the web is now like blaming novels in the 70s, radio shows in the movie Radio Days. Babylon 5 told... yeah, right. Pervious to cold now. There's something in the song about what's in this drink, probably innocent, but... Well, that's because people used to, spike the eggnog, and then you would get a little, people would drink to excuse their behavior, whether it was true or not. Something must have been in that eggnog. I just ran away with myself, and it wasn't. So, Dave Allen, missing a finger, sitting in a chair. Oh, God, Brad knows Dave Allen. Awesome. Yeah, he was always missing this finger or whatever, and he would hold his scotch and drink that and smoke a cigarette and just tell stories, tell his jokes. God, I love that guy. I grew up watching Dave Allen with my dad on like public television. You want to talk about creepy songs? Look in the song Into the Night from 1980 or whatever. Literally starts out, she's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they said. Joyce wanted to tell you last night that she felt the popcorn bit last night was genius. Oh, thank you. Lunch in the terminal now. I think I sacrificed my iPad on the flight. Oh, no. It's a little different than a playful retro song about 1950 sexual notes. Yes, it's true. Yes, he said he lost it from the drink. I saw him on the BBC as a kid. Yeah, from the drink. Yeah, he drank his finger off. Yeah, I think it was because he lost it in an industrial accident, like as a kid or whatever, like working as a young kid. WTTW. Yeah, we watched it. And the Two Ronnies. Yeah, I watched him on WTTW in Chicago too. Do you know that song was about his producer's daughter who was hanging around the studio? Ew. I heard it recently and I was like, OMG, I listened to the song when I was 10. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff or whatever. And the reality is nobody gets permission from those songs. The monsters don't need it and the good people don't have it. It's just titillation. It's singing or talking or joking about the forbidden, because even if you don't partake in it, part of it is this titillating reflex in people. So yeah. It's See, the riddle of Dave Allen's missing finger may have finally been solved. The comic, who died in 2005, never revealed how he lost the top of his left forefinger, but instead used to spin a number of tales. But now a childhood friend has come forward to reveal the prosaic truth that he got caught in a cogwheel of a mill in Longford. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Accident happened June 6, 1941, when Allen, known as David Tynan O'Mahony, bless his heart, was a month away from his 6th birthday. He was absent for 6 days after that. So he was back in school in 6 days with a missing finger. Egan said the youngster was keen to flaunt his wounds when he returned to school, telling the Longford leader when he returned he took off the bandage and showed the piece of finger that was missing. After he became a comedian, Allen came up with several stories to explain his injury. One version said that he laid his finger... He had his finger in his mouth when his brother John had surprised him by snapping his jaw shut. Another said it was a self-inflicted to avoid national service. Another that he kept dipping it in his whiskey, which ate away at the flesh. The anecdotes were revived after BBC Two aired the documentary Dave Allen, God's Own Comedian, recently. Yeah, see, there's still not as egregiously announced couch in religion, da-da-da. I don't know about that, Hal. I think it was truer. The culture back then, men were conditioned younger was better. I don't think they had to be conditioned. It's an evolutionary imperative. Thanks, Tom. Be well. Still are to some degree, but not as egregiously. Now it's couched by religion. Sunday ICW, Benny Hill, Dave Allen, Large, Monty Python, Doctor Who. Amazing. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Al. Nice editing. Thanks, Brad. Absolutely. First time I can remember on the radio is I want to sex you up, talking about disturbing Olympics. We can do it until we both wake up. Yeah, but again, even that lyric is "we can do it until we both wake up." Like that's two people engaged in a consensual thing, as crazy as the behavior is. I remember Centerfold, my brother listening to it, and neither of us knowing what that was. We just liked the song. Yeah. Yes, that is why men can father a child until they die. Yeah. I get that there's a need women young enough to reproduce, but nothing. I mean, it's. You can culturally affect people away from that, but that's the draw. It's why they don't need to be talked into it, and that's why the prepubescent that's dangerous and gross and criminal, and I won't go so far as to say it's an illness. I don't give them that much credit. I think it's a fetish, and I think but when you're talking about someone who's sexually mature. That's why. I mean, that's the material thing. But there's lots of stuff about humanity that, materially on an evolutionary scale, we're meant to, that we have an automatic reaction towards or whatever. But we've understood over time that we've had to culture ourselves away from it if we want to be better than just apes. Yes, Brad, it's not your fault. Making Love in My Chevy Van was a great tune for conjuring up some great thoughts. For a teenage girl, that is. Can't speak for teen boys. Faulty Towers is amazing, yes. Have you ripped that one from Edison Cylinder, Mike? Go Away Little Girl, another creepy song sung by a grown man. I took Chevy Van as an adult male, picking up an adult female even way back then. Mm-hmm. Well, back then it kind of was. People had a van. It was a shaggin' wagon. That was a thing. A lot of, especially songs that were written during the, sexual revolution, there was, people were learning on the fly. And I think they still are. The spoof of Blurred Lines is great. I'm a douchebag. Yeah, I never liked that song anyways, but that's not my kind of music. And I've always liked seductive metal, like songs about from the male point of view of you want me more than you want him. That always felt like a really safe and positive zone to be in lyrically, there's a bunch of Wasp songs like that, like Restless Gypsy and the like. They talk about, how you know, or any of the songs where like you sneak away from him to be with me kind of songs. That lyrically, those are the things that always appealed to me, and I never understood all the kind of the like even Gonna Get Close to You, the Queensryche did a cover of. I was like, oh yeah, it's meant to be awful. They covered it to make it creepy. That's why I like Brett Weinstein and Heather Heying interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, because they're evolutionary biology professors and they talk about Me Too through that lens. Mm-hmm. How it should be the name of your next album, Seductive Metal. Yeah, it's a... You Shook Me All Night Long is a fantastic, sexy song. The whole Rock My World concert. Absolutely. Careless Whisper. Mm-hmm. My favorite was when my friend Pillow Talk by Soul, where she's getting off moaning at the end, and Jeff sitting back from the mic says, honey, I'm home from my fishing trip. Rubber Soul is my fave. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, again, where's the narrative line in songs? I mean, like you know, I've talked about this a couple times, but my favorite songwriting, I wouldn't say gimmick, but like tool, that, no pun intended, that I've seen used is by Maynard from the band Tool. And what he does is he writes a song about an awful person, someone he hates, someone he despises, a monster, and then he changes the pronouns from you to I, and sings it from their point of view, just to, you know, to draw the listener into what the emotional content of someone like that would be, and it's genius. And Sober's a great, you know, version of that. I am just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. Like that, you know, he wrote that, you know, externally and then internalized it, which is great. How the picture on the LP would be a glove over a metal robot hand. That's genius. I like it. Just means you're getting older and care about stuff. The Eagles...
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Every breath you take, every move, I'll be watching you. Yeah. And then the verse, Don't Stand So Close to Me, is sort of an inversion of that exact song. You know? Yeah, and Every Breath You Take is meant to be that way. The fact that people read it as romantic as their problem, you know. I'm at the Rock and Brew, and the terminal on my table has a Kiss Destroyer album cover on it. That's awesome. Jeffrey Lebowski, that's right. But it was supposed to be creepy. You know? That was like... Let's see. Yeah, a bunch of those. Yeah. I only have one more.
Oh, nice marmot.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man. I gotta find...
Nerd alert!
Cool. Yeah, people used it as a wedding song. It makes no sense to me. I didn't want to get sued. They were playing my sprinkler. So, real question, Don't Stand So Close to Me. Is did he or didn't he? Yeah. Well, it's meant to be, you know, it's a Lolita song, and it's this guy being tempted, you know, and it's because she's giving him the big come on, and it's, you know. Wet bus stop, it's raining. You know. Just, yeah, oh, yeah, and Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks died, right. Boo. She's too good for my sting is hilarious. Smell the glove, that's sexist. That's what they wanted, right? Sexist, not sexy. There's such a thin line between stupid and clever. This aggression will not stand, man. Lolita with Jeremy Irons is so provocative and dangerous at the same time. It's a great movie. Yeah, I remember when I first got, because I have all the Kubrick movies. For some reason, Lolita got put in the romance category. And I made several jokes about that. And I was like, romance? Really? Romance? And then they ended up, and somebody must have heard me because it got moved to drama. The accusations fly. Just like the old man in that book by Nabokov, right? It's a nice day for a light sweater. It's a nice day for a cardigan. Move to drama. Not that you should give them candy though. Don't do that. Right. Drama or how-to video. Yeah. Oy. Yeah. No, they moved it to. It's in the drama category now. But it was literally. I've made several. Like I tweeted about it a bunch. I tweeted to Apple about it. And I was like, really, guys, romance. Murder by Numbers is a verse about a murderer teaching the highest echelons of profession by becoming a state leader and consider it one of the best by the police. Well, a lot of that stuff was like them. They started out as a punk band, so they're making points about stuff while using pop as a methodology for it. Don't Stand to Me Close, 86, a weird remake. Yeah, was it? Yeah. There are certain smells that come to mind when I hear Don't Stand So Close to Me within the original version of it. It's just like, because I remember having my ColecoVision video game set up and playing it because we didn't have we had a TV, but we didn't get any reception, so we would play games on it, but I only had 2 games. I had the Smurf game and another one, Donkey Kong Jr. And I remember the package, how it that they came in and smelled like kind of like it's one of my favorite smells is cassette tapes in the late 80s, early 90s had that kind of like their own version of like a new car smell, right? And I just loved that smell. And you crack open a new cassette tape and you're like, whoa. Like Bohemian Rhapsody is up for drama. I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. I was disappointed. I mean, on a couple of fronts. No, Hal, on what? On Bohemian Rhapsody? Because I'm a huge Queen fan, so I know all the stories already. So maybe it was easier for people who aren't, don't follow along. Johnny Million is a huge Queen fan. Shaped his guitar sound after Brian May. Why did Sting push over candles in the video, Hal? Because he didn't want to get burned. Oh, yeah, dude. Like Bob Rivers, What If God Smoked Cannabis? Trump smells fire. That's what Julie Collins. Lolita was banned as a book, still is in some quarters, right? Bohemian Rhapsody was good first draft. Only the wigs were ready for the movie. I have all the ColecoVision games on my Mac, playable using my Xbox 360 controller. So fun. Oh, that's cool. What program on your Mac? Can't Stop Lying. Is it an app that runs them, or is it just a MAME? Now you've got me interested. You gotta send me the deets. Can't leave that hanging out there. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah. ColecoVision and television were cool. There was some, ColecoVision had better graphics for it, and of course Donkey Kong Jr. was like amazing. But got a Scoot Sparkles, great show. Thank you, Lisa Ann. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. I'm going to tweet the post show just to get people in here. Like, post show is on the air. Come chat with us. Questions? Bohemian Rhapsody is not a good movie, but it's nominated for a Globe in drama. Also, The Green Book is up for comedy. Golden Globes are weird. Astro Smasher played that for hours. Such a stupid name. Yeah. Thank you. Can't Stop Lying. That's awesome. Yeah, I just, like, my problem with Bohemian Rhapsody, too, is, like, it was like Freddie. There was never Freddie without AIDS, essentially. Like, he was so kind of thin in the face looking and all that kind of stuff that there was no point where I was like, it just hung over everything. And that's not how their life was. It was devastating when he found out, but it wasn't as simple as all that, you know? And so he just looked like he was sick the whole time from when he was a kid, you know, because he lost the weight to do the thing. Mine's Bill Hicks about God being distressed. He left marijuana growing everywhere in easy reach. I never had games as a kid. I was 80s deprived. No games on MTV. Single mom, broke. I think it made me creative, so I can't complain. NES was my first console. We're all stars, yeah, in the post show. There was no way they could have told the story in a movie format. I agree. But I think you know, making the center of it Live Aid was a very British-centric, band-centric experience, because on their own personal life, that comeback was the most recent shock to their life or whatever. Not the way executives wanted anyway. I think that's true. Hal runs Maine. It's true. Just paid $22 for a dried out turkey club with cold fries. Welcome to LAX. I enjoyed it because of the music. I'm not a big fan of biopics. Yeah, they're always short on something. There's, you know, but a lot of it was just like really kind of, obviously, I don't know. It just like a lot of them were the stories just shot like they had anecdotally been told already, you know. Queen demands a miniseries. That's amazing. Yeah. Plus, it ignored all the albums that came after Live Aid and Flash Gordon and Highlander. And and you know what's funny is the story about you know, the record executive who didn't want Bohemian Rhapsody on the record is the same guy, I'm pretty sure, who didn't want Another One Bites the Dust on the record either, and because it didn't sound like a Queen song. And a very famous musician called, Rocky Mountain Mike probably knows this, and a couple of you I might have told. A very famous musician called the label and said, you have to put this song on the record. It's a hit. Do you know who it was? Who's the first one's going to know who it was? Who's going to? Can you know? That's right, Julie. Score one for Julie. Michael Jackson. That's right. Michael Jackson called the label and said, you have to put Another One Bites the Dust on a record. It's a hit. Nope. Yeah. David Bowie's a good guess. John Lennon, Michael, Prince. I don't think Prince knew / hung out with anybody, you know, any of the Queen dudes. Wasn't his circle, I don't think. So. Type too slowly. I was doing evenings at a top 40 station when Stephanie Miller was a senior in high school. Wow. Randy Rainbow. I know MJ bought the Beatles copyrights. Did he also buy the Queen ones? No. There's enough living guys in that band. They've kept all of it. Randy Rainbow. Heading out to walk Trader Joe's and get some sake sweet potatoes for my breakfast in a couple hours. Got to get them some vitamin D since 60's out and running. Yeah, it's nice out in Vegas. We're actually going to have a day too. And I'll be posting. I'm going to work out later too, so I'll be posting some videos from that. pretty soon, and I'll do more of the little travel videos and the other stuff that I've been doing, the little short form videos. If you guys could like and subscribe to those, or like and tweet them and all that kind of stuff, the little short forms, it would really help out, like, in growing the number in the channel to get us to that magic 10K. I'm really making an effort to try and put more of that stuff online, so there's more to draw from than these 3-hour diatribes that you guys are awesome for. So anyways, yeah, so that would be really helpful if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, and I appreciate it. So we'll work out videos and prepare and I will keep you guys in the loop on this stuff. And then of course I'll be doing the show from Atlantic City or from Philly next week. So that should be exciting. And I thank you guys for joining me. And you guys are wonderful. And we all need to give Carrie a collective hug the next time she's in the chat room. Just shower her with support, because she can occasionally be delicate about stuff. We want to make sure that while we can all criticize or argue in a good fashion, we want to make sure nobody feels marginalized or pushed out. Thanks for talking petroleum jelly with me. I appreciate it. I really do. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching this after the show or in other circumstances. Really appreciate